Osiris.
Hey now, what is going on? This is Karina Rykman, and I am absolutely out of my damn mind excited to introduce my dear, dear friend, my compadre, my brother in shining armor.
Absolutely out of my damn mind. What's going on?
Isaac.
It's Inappropriate Happiness.
How's it going, my friend? What is happening?
What's going on, Karina?
I'm having a few laughs with you. I'm having a few laughs with our producer, Marlo Shankweiler, who's doing an incredible job. And, I've had a great last few days. The weather here in New York has been amazing. We've seen some live music that we will get into.
Absolutely.
Man, it's been wildly thrilling. I feel like I am vibrating at a high frequency these days.
And the vibes are high.
The
vibrations are high.
Yeah, it feels good,
It's really good.
I'm a big believer in, like, when the shit is good, you gotta fucking celebrate it. You know what I mean?
No question about it.
'Cause shit can be bad real quick.
No question about it.
So that's my my life philosophy.
Well, I think your week started off on a pretty crazy note this past Sunday.
Correct. And you were there, thank God, as my archivist. For those who don't know, Isaac, is a lot of things. A Joycean, a Grateful Dead scholar, a psychoanalytic candidate, but he is also my archivist. And
it's the byline I am the most proud of.
Thanks, pal.
It really is. It's a cool thing to be your archivist.
I mean, shit. I'm thrilled. Isaac has been around for all the exploits, and I've been around for his, and it's been a beautiful many, many years of friendship here. But you were there on Sunday when, in the morning, I got a call, a voicemail. First of all, I am such a lover of voicemails, and I have to just tell, I think it is an old school thing that people are annoyed by. I am so in love with voicemails. I think they're hilarious, and I think they're moments of improvisational glory amongst mere mortals. So it's when you hear that beep, boom, you're on. You know what I mean? And you got to figure out what the fuck you're about to say to that person. And I keep all my voicemails, and I love them.
Well, your outgoing message is, what's going on? It's Karina Rykman, which is often how you start this episode. So it's kind of like you're inviting anyone who calls you and doesn't reach you to do a little mini podcast with you on your answering machine.
Dude, which is the vibe I try to bring to the table in life. Absolutely. I think it's hilarious, and I love seeing people who don't usually improvise, be it verbally or otherwise, totally just shoot from the hip and try and, give me a message. So, yes, please. You were about to say something.
You got a message, a voicemail this Sunday from somebody who improvises quite a bit.
Hey.
Inviting you to improvise with him at the Blue Note Legendary Jazz Club in New York City.
Dude, it's just life and art imitating each other. I'm so blessed. My dear friend, DJ Logic, who is a king amongst men and a great in our scene, who I just love. He left me a voicemail at, I think it was 9 a.m. on Sunday. Your girl was sleeping. Something else you should know about me, fellow listeners, I don't get up too early. You know what I'm saying? Especially not on a day I'm not working. And by working, I mean playing rock music. Anyway, so I get up, I listen to this voicemail. It's DJ Logic. He is asking me if I want to come down to the Blue Note and sit in on the last night of his 5-night residency, I believe, that he's had at the Blue Note. Joining him are some absolute heavyweights in the jazz world. Maybe most notably, though, it's hard to even say, Marcus Gilmore on the drums, who, I mean, good Lord, this guy is one of the greatest drummers I've ever seen in my life.
A fellow New Yorker.
Went to LaGuardia. Which is very cool.
Juilliard.
Has played, when Chick Corea was alive, played with him.
Last
played with
couple
Pat
albums.
Metheny. I mean, good, like, absolute ridiculous
DJ
credits.
Ayer, yeah, he's pretty phenomenal.
Crazy. And then there was, of course, Vernon Reid from Living Colour, who I've had the great privilege of playing with before in an Everyone Orchestra, which was yet another very improvisational. When I say very, I mean completely improvisational experience.
And who claims to be a listener of this podcast.
And Vernon talking to you before and after the show, and Vernon tells me when I arrived there that he listens to Inappropriate Happiness, and that just completely flipped my lid. And thank God Isaac came upstairs just at that moment, and he was like, I was like, oh, it's Isaac, he's like, oh, it's Isaac from the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I just couldn't even, that's crazy, because of course, a childhood hero of mine, and I think he's such an intelligent member of the music scene, and he always is tweeting really profound stuff. He's a very cerebral dude, really interesting things to say, and of course, incredible approach to the instrument that I've admired for many, many years.
Rocking a Radio Shack hat. I think he's one of the cooler people in the world.
I couldn't agree more.
And it really emanates in his playing.
100%. Oh my God. And then we had David Dyson on the bass. We had James Hurt on the keyboards. These are absolute slayers on these instruments. And
Angie Swan on guitar.
And Ron Blake on saxophone. Those were the two special guests of the evening. Angie being from David Byrne's band. Mm-hmm. You've seen her on Broadway doing the whole nine.
And with Prince.
Subtle flex
With the purple guitar and the funk rhythmic riffs.
Exactly. And Ron Blake being on SNL. He's the guy where when you tune into SNL, you hear all this shit. Anyway, needless to say, I was in over my head. But of course, I called Logic back and I said, hell yes, my friend, I will see you there for the late night set. And that exactly what happened. So then, before that, you and I went to see a completely different style of music, where we went to see Gojira and the Deftones at Pier 17 here in Manhattan. God, how good was that?
What a night it really was. I mean, I have been following Gojira for a long time now. I've seen them with you a number of times in clubs of all sizes. It was amazing to watch them perform on this rooftop in a pier in New York City, surrounded by the sunset, the water, and then to be followed up by a wonderfully complimentary band, a band that I'm less familiar with, but one who put on a spectacular live performance, really.
Sick.
Deftones. What's good with that, Karina?
I mean, Isaac, it's so great. Isaac knows about just about every band that's ever existed, but Isaac was a late bloomer a little bit to Deftones. Am I correct in saying that?
They played on a bill with Mastodon and Alice in Chains at the Garden.
Yes, sir.
And I was a little bit allergic to them there.
Sure.
At first I was like, what is going on with this? But I've grown up since then. I think I was in 9th grade at that point.
Yep.
And my musical taste has expanded as well. And, I've been listening to the Diamond Eyes record recently at your recommendation. And I just think there's something really stylistically unique about them, and I really just I loved seeing it live.
So glad. It was a amazing night of metal, because man, I am just an absolute fanatic for heavy metal. For those who don't know, I know I'm best known for my jam bandery, but let me tell you, heavy metal has a very, very indelible mark on my heart, and I will always carry that. And there's something about the catharsis that these bands bring and the absolute just relentlessness. Especially, Gojira is when you see them, they are absolutely a relentless force of nature, and I beseech you all, our fellow listeners, to check this out. They're French, and the frontman and the drummer are brothers. And I love when that happens. It usually elicits very good things. Hence Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul from Pantera. And of course, Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen. it's a beautiful thing. We gotta love all that. Anyway, they're amazing. And yeah, the Deftones, man, like, they have real nuance. They have real songs. They have all sort, a whole package. Chino Moreno being the front man. He screams, but man, can he sing.
It's very cerebral. It's dark at times. It's ecstatic at times. It's thumping, but then it gets sort of quiet and spooky. I really, I was impressed, and they certainly know how to put together a set list. And I'll be thinking about that one for a while.
You and me both. I'm looking to see it again. So for all of our Inappropriate Happiness listeners, this made me inappropriately happy. I was jumping up and down like an absolute lunatic. My knee got all fucked up just like it did in high school when I used to jump up and down relentlessly at all these metal shows.
Karina used to make the cover of the art section of the New York Times for being at a Metallica show.
100%.
That's a thing that happened.
Oh, yeah, I was on the cover of the art section of the New York Times for being in the front row of Yankee Stadium.
At the Big Four,
Yeah.
right? The Big Four thrash metal acts, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax.
Exactly.
And you skipped school and went and ripped it, right?
I went till first period, and then I signed myself in, and then I said sayonara, and then I got on the train and, got in the front row, and I didn't pee once. I was there from 10 a.m. till 11 p.m., whatever it was. We went straight to the front row and never left. And yeah, I used to get photographed by Brooklyn Vegan or whatever the outlets were, because I was, now I'm obsessed with being in a balcony because I'm old and a piece of shit. But
I've always been obsessed with being in a balcony. I love the catch me on the balcony.
Love it. Side balc, that's sort of where I like to be these days. But back in the day, my thing was front row. I was front row with this. I was front row with that. I was front row with this. I was front row with that. That was everything to me. So I was always getting photographed by all the outlets, so you'd open up Brooklyn Vegan the next day and there was just me horns up in the air, hair flying everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Hilarious and fantastic times. But then, Isaac, we exited the metal show, got in a cab along with our producer, Marlo Shankweiler, and we headed to the Blue Note for something completely different. And we were there, and I went upstairs, and man, these guys, I gotta say, I'm so honored to have been, included in this, even though I am no jazz cat. I have no pedigree like these guys do. Man, I was oh shit, I am, surrounded by true greatness, and I'm just really good at being myself. But I'm not that fluent in, music theory or, any of that in a really schooled way. And I'm looking at a lot of people who are. And so I'm intimidated. But man, they could not have been nicer, could not have been more welcoming. We had great hangs all around. And then I get up there and we had the fucking great jam. And it was so fun. And I love just creating spontaneously with people. And they were absolutely incredible to spontaneously create with. I was so lucky to be included in that.
Well, and Logic introduced you as an amazing human being, which I think is a high compliment, and also he wanted you in on the jam for so many reasons, and I really did think it popped off for a late Sunday night, early Monday morning. It was so epic to watch you crush it with those guys. And
thanks.
I don't know, I had a lot of thoughts about the music all around. I mean, DJ Logic is an interesting kind of fixture, between the jam scene and the jazz scene. He puts together residencies, late night shows, cool collaborations. People want to play with him, want to go see him. He's charismatic, he's funky, he's original.
Yeah.
I there was one point when Vernon Reid started a blues and he just dropped this whole beat over it, and it was very, very impressive, and it's awesome to have him in this world.
I couldn't agree more. So happy to be connected to you, Logic. You are my dude. Thank you for inviting me to do something with just these incredible players, and thank you to all the players for making me feel so welcome in this context. It was really a beautiful thing. And once again, shout out to Vernon Reid. You are my fucking dude. I can't believe you listen to this podcast. Thank you for listening. Holy shit.
We'd love to have you over.
Yeah, dude, come over.
If you want to be a guest on the podcast.
Yo, next thing you know, it's going to be you and me, Isaac, and Vernon. And we're going to chop it up. It's going to be amazing.
Well, this show, I believe, is now on archive.org as your archivist.
Oh, yeah.
It is out there streaming for the people if you want to check it out. We met the taper. Zach was a lovely guy.
Love you, Zach. Zach, you are my dude.
We talked about how I'm your archivist, and he was like, oh, next time Karina goes out on tour, if there's any stuff you want to send me so I can, spruce it up and we can use it as promo. And I just thought about all of the random hard drives and the weird jams of the two of us or whatever that I have throughout the years. So
watch out, Zach. You're about to get
Zach.
Really sick hard drive full of gigabytes on gigabytes of the weirdest shit you've ever heard.
Anyway, while all of this is going down on the East Coast, grunge legends, Pearl Jam, one of the storied live acts of our time, are crushing it on the West Coast, down a man because Matt Cameron has COVID.
Oh, dude. Let me just say, I'm just going to go on record here. I am so in love with Matt Cameron. Always have been. Always will be. I'm so sorry, my dude. We don't know each other, but I wish we did. And I think you're the fucking coolest drummer ever. And it's a brutal thing. But, Isaac, they really made lemonade and can you... I'll let you say what it is first before I say, can you even fucking believe that this happened? But they really made lemonade and made some people's absolute dreams come true.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, so for regular, primary drummers of the evening, they had Josh Klinghoffer, guitar player in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, behind the kit.
Wild.
And also Richard Stuverud, who's a drummer in Seattle.
Love it.
Filling in, but they also brought in a fan one night and also a young man named Kai Nukersman, who is a drummer in a band called The Alive, who Eddie is a fan of, and they brought him out to play Mind Your Manners at the show in Oakland. And I heard the video. I watched the video. I thought he was fantastic. Mind Your Manners is off of Lightning Bolt, and that's a Pearl Jam album near and dear to my heart. I listened to it a ton when it came out. I saw 2 shows on that tour, and Mind Your Manners is a standout tune from that. But, they are just a amazing live band. Eddie comes out before the show every night and plays some acoustic songs. The show in Oakland on May 12th, Needle and the Damage Done.
Oh.
Neil Young, first time since 2016, and I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty.
Very cool.
Both Neil and Tom being big fans of Pearl Jam and Eddie, and as Tom Petty says, you've never heard a song until you hear Eddie Vedder sing it.
Gotta love
so
that.
I mean, this is just awesome. I can't wait for them to come to the East Coast and play Madison Square Garden.
Dude, you and me both. And I just can you imagine being that kid from The Alive? Right? How old is that kid? Do we even know?
He's not yet graduated from high school.
Dude, this kid comes and rocks out on the drums at a live show. This ain't no sound check. This ain't no, fabricated moment. This is nothing this guy is filling in for Matt Cameron at an arena with Pearl Jam and then going to his first period class the next day.
It's unbelievable.
I'm thinking about being that kid right now, and I am shitting in my pantalones, dude. Straight up. I know it's pantalones. I'm just saying. Oh my God, that is so crazy.
And then last night, May 16th in Fresno, fans were treated to Dave Krusen, who's the original drummer of Pearl Jam. Hadn't played a full show with them since 1991.
Yeah.
Behind the kit, and they played pretty much all of the debut album 10. I think it's 10, they played 9 of the 11 songs on the album.
Damn. I mean, that's crazy. So how much longer do we have until Matt, gets well?
I hope he recovers soon. We wish him the best.
Me too.
He is a absolute monster behind the kit.
Oh, he's so cool. He's just so fucking cool.
I mean, he's been in some pretty cool projects.
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a little bit,
man,
Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. Yeah, not doing too bad.
God, I used to watch all those music videos from back in the day, both bands, different periods, and just be like, man, Matt Cameron is so cool. I just love him. God, I hope I get to meet you one day, Matt. Matt, what are you doing? I'm coming. I'll bring you some bone broth. It'll get you right back to where you need to be. But that's so cool, Isaac. I mean, geez, I think that's a great story, and I'm so glad that people got to live out their fantasies and help out Pearl Jam in the process. It's an amazing thing.
Absolutely. And, we've been talking about styles of music.
Yes. Like
metal, like jazz, even Pearl Jam, that are a little bit sort of different from what our usual listenership expects with our Widespread Panic, Fish, Grateful Dead hijinks.
100%.
But, they're in a lot of ways a little split off center from the most in terms of mainstream music. And, these jazz, obviously being a genre and tradition founded on improvisation, which has fed into so much of the music we love.
Of course.
Metal, kicking it up a notch, bringing things to a place of physical feeling.
Deep intensity.
Cerebral splendor.
100%. And oftentimes exploring the long form approach. Unlike punk rock, which is usually the opposite, which I also absolutely adore for different reasons and in different ways. But in metal specifically, you look at a band like Metallica even, and that's low-hanging fruit there. But man, like if you look at how these songs are arranged, how many movements you're going through. Obviously, you're looking at an Iron Maiden where, that's as jam as anything in my book because of the way that these songs are kind of architected. It's an amazing feat of arranging and movements and all of it. There are Iron Maiden songs that remind me of You Enjoy Myself,
Totally.
And I think that's a really interesting kind of thing.
Well, and Pearl Jam, which I think it could be said to be more rooted in the punk tradition,
sure,
play 3-hour concerts.
Exactly.
And do play things like Rockin' in the Free World and do take them out, albeit it's a very sort of different kind of thing. But, there's something about the sort of full immersion in the live music experience that you get with these bands that, really it's why we keep coming back.
100%. And I say it often, but I'll say it again. To me, the Jam fans, if you will, have the widest ears of any of these sort of, sects, if you will, of fan bases or whatnot. So to me, and I know this from playing, and I know this obviously just from seeing and living and listening and whatnot, if you are performing for jam band audiences, which I often am, if I get heavy, they're with me. If I get jazzy, they're with me. If I go reggae, they're with me. If I'm punk rock, they're right there. Like whatever it may be. And that's a very special element of the scene to me. And also, I don't know, I just find that that's a beautiful thing because my ears are wide to a detriment, Like I'm so into so many different types of music that maybe that's why the jam folk resonate with me as well. They're just down.
It's so cool.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So we're talking about shows that have happened. I just want to talk about two new announcements this week about tours.
Bring it.
The Smashing Pumpkins are going on tour with Jane's Addiction starting this October. Arenas across the United States. They're playing Madison Square Garden. They're playing Detroit, Michigan. They're playing Denver, Colorado. They're playing San Francisco. They're closing it out in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Bowl, and they're hitting a number of cities in between the shows I just mentioned. These two bands are near and dear to my heart, near and dear. I just love them.
Dude. I love them too. I love them unequivocally. And we've seen, I feel like, a number of Smashing Pumpkins shows together, maybe just one. But whatever it was, they were all fabulous. And of course, I love Jane's Addiction. Oh my God. I think about Perry Farrell's voice a lot. I actually have a recurring dream I'd like to tell the audience about, which is when I am backstage at a Jane's Addiction show and Perry Farrell is, I haven't had this dream in a minute, so don't judge me, but I used to have it a lot. I'm walking backstage at Terminal 5, a club here in New York City, and Perry's walking, and I take him into a room, and I handcuff him or tie his hands behind his back, and I threaten him, and I say, Perry, please let me sing Pets by Porno for Pyros with you guys tonight. Please let me do it. And he says, okay, you can do it. And then it comes to be the time where I'm going to come and sit in with Jane's Addiction, but I'm going to sing a Porno for Pyros song, and then I'm about to walk on stage, and that's when I wake up.
Oh, man.
Man, really some fucked up shit. I would love to hear what your analytic brain has to say about that one. But
well, the place that I went is that you had to settle for playing Pets with me in somebody's basement a few years ago because we did do just that.
Dude, that was the requited dream I could have ever. That's the best. Thank God.
Absolutely.
I didn't even have to handcuff you.
No,
did I?
Well, the thing I love about Jane's Addiction is the theatricality.
Oh.
You know?
Absolutely.
I come from a place of, like, I liked theatrical music more than I liked jammy music.
Sure.
For a long time. And they kind of have both. Like, I saw them at Gathering of the Vibes one year, like scaring all the hippies.
So sick.
It was like 7 Grateful Dead cover bands and then Jane's Addiction to close out the day. And
Dude.
Been Caught Stealing, Fish Plated, 98. I mean, there's some simpatico vibes.
Absolutely. Oh,
and with
my
the
God.
Smashing Pumpkins, I mean, some of those guitar parts, James Iha, they're just so kind of psychedelic and, you know, I have a Smashing Pumpkins story.
Please, lay it down.
Story. So my aunt, Amy, has been my musical muse for a long time. She saw Fish at Nectar's in the 80s. She is the coolest. She's an artist.
She's a deep cat, you guys. Deep.
And she has an art studio in Cape Cod where she teaches children ceramics. And I visited it a lot as a kid, and she would play music for me, and I would listen like it was, you know, the gospel, because whatever she played me, I would end up becoming obsessed with. And Siamese Dream, she had on CD, and it has a very iconic album cover. Smashing Pumpkins certainly leaning in the art rock direction in a lot of ways, doing a lot of conceptual things. And I thought, like, oh, all right, I'll covet this album. And I went back to New York, and I had an art teacher in whatever 4th and 5th grade I was in, and she also had Siamese Dream. And I just assumed it was like music for art teachers, which it kind of is if you're a good art teacher.
A cool art teacher.
A cool art teacher. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing these bands. It's been a long time. I think it's a really cool double bill, and yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful
it's a double
thing.
bill that makes the most sense. Really just, you know, bands that work well together, and I look forward to seeing it too, Isaac. I cannot wait.
And another artistically inclined group, Gorillaz, announced that they're going on tour. They're going to spend the summer in Europe and Australia, and then they'll be coming to the United States in September.
Huge. Damon Albarn, what are we even talking about? An absolute genius of our time. Go and see the Gorillaz while you can.
I got to see them at the Apollo Theater doing Demon Days live, which was very, very cool.
Subtle flex. That
Subtle
is so
flex.
Strong, dude.
Right around
So
the time
strong.
I was listening to Siamese Dream.
Coolest kid walking around, 6th grade, baby. 5th grade, 4th grade. Jesus.
I don't even know.
Early. It was
Early.
early. Man, dude.
These were formative times.
Unfucking believable. I saw Gorillaz at Outside Lands, I believe. God.
I haven't seen them since then, so I think I'm definitely going to hit this tour.
It's definitely worthwhile. Definitely worthwhile. And Damon recently sat in with Billie Eilish at Coachella.
Oh, that's so
Did you
cool.
see that? I think unless I'm absolutely tripping, I'm so sorry if I'm the arbiter of false information, but I'm fairly confident that happened. And it looked very, very sick. And she's a huge Gorillaz fan, so shout out, Billie. We love you, girl. You're smart. You like the same shit we do. You like Siamese Dream? You have an art teacher who showed you Siamese Dream?
You have dreams about Perry Farrell?
No, yeah. Dude, honestly, I feel like Billie has dreams about Perry Farrell, too.
Oh,
I hope so. Maybe not ones where she handcuffs him, but yeah, it's all good. Those are handcuffs with love, for those of you wondering. It's not like some sick shit. It's just moderately sick. Anyway.
In terms of long form, I feel like we've also taken this one out.
Dude,
this may be our
one
longest
got
episode.
out, dude. That's because we had stories to tell, you know? I was riding the vibe.
We got type 2.
This is so type 2, bro. Dude.
Talking about our dreams. Talking about our teachers and aunts and
everybody.
4th grade and...
Gotta go back sometimes, man. Gotta go back with your archivist. Gotta bring them all out. Oh, my God. Well, this weekend, Isaac, I am going to play Dome Fest, the Pigeons Playing Ping Pong Festival. I am playing 3 sets at Dome Fest, y'all.
That is what you want in, like, a mid-May weekend.
Oh, ridic. So I will play right before one set of Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, and then right before set 1 of Lotus, and then right before set 2 of Lotus. And that's just going to be fun as hell. I can't wait to be reunited with my friends in Pigeons Playing Ping Pong and Lotus. Those are all my friends. Hi, guys. How are you? Do you listen to the pod? No? You're not as cool as Vernon Reed then. Fuck all y'all. Just kidding. Love you. Anyway, I can't wait to be there. And then the day after, I am going to play the David Shaw Big River Get Down. 2 festivals in Ohio this weekend for me, Isaac. It will be a blast. Then I will come home. I will rehearse with my band. I will have one night to do some meditating and praying to something, hoping that everything goes smoothly because I am flying to Red Rocks and I am playing the biggest gig of my life and I am currently shitting in my pants once again, just picturing looking at the rocks. I don't know how to convey it. Oh my God, I am gonna die. Anyway, that is gonna be the best. And that's what I have in the next week. What the fuck?
I am wildly excited for all of that. I think we will keep the listeners apprised of your road to Red Rocks, as they say.
Yes, sir. Next week, we're going to have a very special episode.
And the people of Dome Fest,
dude, we salute you.
I hope you are wildly entertained by Karina.
If you're not entertained by Karina, let me tell you, she has to try harder. It's going to be great. I really look forward to it. We're going to have some good old-fashioned Midwestern fun. It's going to be a good time. And man, Isaac, you got any parting words for the people? We should put a bow on this thing. What do you think?
I think if it's not weird, why do it?
Fucking could not agree more, my brother.
Get more out.
If it ain't weird, you're just sleeping. You're absolutely sleeping. God. Keep it weird. Keep it surreal. This has been absolutely delightful and type 2. Thank you for making it rain with me, Isaac. This is so fun.
Making it rain.
And we bid you listeners adieu.
Adieu.
City kids don't walk on grass, oh no. Ay, 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 yo! Osiris.